to be here. Whenever I was asked to be here, I was like, you're going to give me a microphone for 5 minutes? Sure, let's do it. So I lead learning and development for a marketing agency, so I hope there's a lot of learning and development specialists here. I'm going to be talking about time that's not on your side, which is very on brand because I only have 5 minutes. And I want to talk about rethinking the concept of time in learning and development. So if you've been in L&D for at least a year, this email probably looks familiar to some of you. At some point, someone forwarded you an email from an executive or a CEO. They read an article in Forbes, probably Forbes, right? And they learn about this hot new training that employees need, and they're like, hey, you're the L&D professional, what are we doing about this? But it doesn't end there. It's probably your Slack and your email asking you about time management training, data storytelling, common unconscious biases, all great ideas, but it keeps going, right? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, so many trainings, so many great ideas, but you probably feel like this. I know I do, right? And in reality, thankfully, we're not going to go and do all of these trainings, right? We have great L&D tools that helps us determine which of these need to be trainings. So we're going to go through a needs assessment. We're going to figure out what needs to be a training. But let's say that around 40 to 60% of these requests do need to be training, right? Because we need our employees to have these skills. That is still a lot of trainings. And we all know that the number one obstacle between employees and L&D is time. This is what my team and I hear all the time. They're like, I don't have time to complete that e-learning. I don't have time to attend that training. And you know, if you're in L&D, you know our little spiel, we default to, okay, how can we as an organization make time for our employees? How can we empower them to spend time on training, on their professional development? And I'm not saying we should stop doing this. This is great. We should definitely keep doing that. But what in some cases, this is their reality, right? We just truly don't have time to create all these trainings. Our employees don't have time to go through all these trainings. So let me take you back to how I started thinking about this. I read this book called Time Management for Mortals, and it really made me rethink time management in my personal life. It made me think about the concept of time differently. And the book starts with this question: how many weeks do you think the average person can expect to live? And you probably have some guesses. If you read the book, don't spoil it. But think about it for a moment. The author asked a lot of people for his book, and the answer is 4,000 weeks. And when people hear this, it's shocking. When I heard this, I'm like, oh my God, I almost have 2,000 weeks. So it really contextualizes the concept of time, and it makes you think about it differently. So I was interested in how can we apply this mindset and this concept to learning and development. So I have 3 takeaways from the book to learning and development, but we only have 5 minutes. So I'm going to take you 2 takeaways, but if you're curious about the third one, ask me about this later. Takeaway number 10 is to really, truly think about how much time do we actually have available for training. How much time do we actually should spend in training? I think the author does a really good job of making you think about time differently with the 4,000 stats. So I was like, how can I calculate how much time employees have, right? How do we do that? So I went ahead and did that for all of you, so you're welcome. This is super accurate, but estimated. On my calculations, I estimated they have around 23 to 46 hours a year for training. So let's say, best case scenario, they have 40 hours, and we send them to a 1-week leadership boot camp, which I know a lot of us do, 5 days, 8 hours, 40 hours are done. So that leaves you with 6 hours in a year, and that's not even counting job specific training, compliance training they have to take. So really, I challenge us all to think about how much time. Let's calculate this for our organizations. And the second takeaway is acceptance, right? We just have to come to terms that they can't take all the awesome training that we put out there. They just don't have time to take advantage of all the amazing learning solutions that we have, unfortunately. So I'm going to leave you with a quote in the book, which is, once you stop believing that it might somehow be possible to avoid harsh choices about time, it gets easier to make better ones. And with that, choice